Good morning. Yesterday we learned something. Do you remember how to welcome someone in our local language? So today we are going to try it again. Tell someone sitting beside you, "Oh, Bake." Tell someone sitting beside you, "Akwaba." Tell someone sitting beside you, "Wezo." Finally, tell someone sitting beside you, "Welcome." I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the conference day 2 of our Medical Innovation Expo 2025. New paradigms in healthcare technology. Discover, connect, and transform. I'm doing this with my colleague,
Wendy.
Wendy, no.
DJ, it's like you don't want me to do the work today. Right. My name is Wendy Bagonliri Songsoma. You can call me Songsoma.
Okay. So before I invite Mr. Francis to come here, I just want to pick what you learned yesterday. Two of us. What you learned yesterday. Who is going first? Especially the students. I came to your stand. Your project was amazing. What did you learn yesterday?
Okay, so thank you so much. Once again, Joseph Gideon from All Nations University. So aside the workshops that we had, I also saw that we as students are very innovative. If we should be assisted per what we were exhibiting in our posters, I know that we would be able to transform our country, we'll be able to transform our healthcare, and then we'll be able to promote good health among us. Aside that, the workshops also made us realize where we stand in terms of medical equipment management, how the FDA and the Ghana Standard Authority are able to cooperate with each other and help us in our medical equipment management and other stuff. So I know that as we have come here today, whatever we are also coming to continue, it will help us and then help us progress. Thank you.
Definitely it will help us. One more person. Okay, I'll choose then. I also came to your stand yesterday. What did you learn yesterday?
I'm Elvis Nujo from University of Ghana. Yesterday I learned that I went for the rapid prototyping workshop, and they said that what I remember was that you can outsource your labor, but you shouldn't outsource your thinking. That even if you are to do any work and you see that there's some labor involved, you can actually make a machine do the labor for you, but you shouldn't let the machine think for you in order to create your ideas.
You can outsource your labor, but do not outsource your thinking.
Thank you very much for your feedback. As and when, we would always come to you. And I would like to put you on the spot, okay, so that when I hand the microphone over to you, you'll be able to say something. Before we go, I'd like us to do a little exercise, just to ginger ourselves. It's raining, the place is a little chilly, and I think we are a little dull. So when I say Medical Innovation Expo, we will say discover, connect, and transform. Are we together?
Yes.
Right. So Medical Innovation Expo.
Discover, connect, transform.
Medical Innovation Expo.
Discover, connect, transform.
I think we can give ourselves a round of applause. Thank you. To join us, welcome you properly and give us a recap of yesterday. Help me welcome the General Counsel for Ghana Biomedical Innovation, Mr. Francis Danso Ajari. With a round of applause, Mr. Francis.
Thank you and good morning. Welcome again. When he was speaking, I think he left out one. I met an Hausa lady yesterday, so of course I must say the Hausa version, which is, I wrote it in my hand because I'll forget. Barakat Zua, is that correct? Yes. Barakat Zua? Perfect, thank you. So that's welcome in Hausa, okay? So we have to add that to that. Great. Discover, connect, transform. We did a lot of that yesterday, but let me recap. There was a wonderful opening remarks by Professor Fred, President Fred. I absolutely love him when he speaks. I feel so motivated. I'm like, what do you want done? Tell me, I want to do it, right? I loved it. It was great. But he did say one thing, more engineers than lawyers. So I will not tell you what I do. I will not tell you what I do. Right. But you guys are engineers, so that's great. So he opened it. It was fantastic. Followed by the, I think it was the plenary session by the Ghana Standards Authority person, Dr. Alex Dodu, also very impressive. He was speaking from, was it South Africa? Kenya. Kigali, Rwanda. The network was so much better than the guy who was speaking locally, so we should find out. Maybe he was using Starlink. That was great. His point was the Ghana Standard Authority, they are doing all they can to make sure that we can move forward. Okay, don't confuse that with the Ghana FDA. That's a different thing. We'll get that to that. That was in the workshops. So after that, we moved straight into the workshops. There were 3 fantastic workshops. I wish I could clone myself into 3 parts and attend all of them, but I couldn't. I'm just one person. Maybe next time we'll do like holograph or something. That's okay. We're not there yet. The first one was by Dr. Laura Wong, and I have some stories to tell you about her. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who went to the workshop with Dr. Laura? What did you think? Amazing, amazing. I learned, well, I went to the afternoon session because I went to the morning session. The afternoon session, so the morning she spoke about pain point. You learned about pain points? Yes, pain points? Yes, that was great. Why is that relevant? Because the day before, yesterday was day 1, but she made a joke about employee 0, so we're going to talk about day 0. We went to the Medina Polyclinic and the Royal Bremois Hospital, and they told us a lot of challenges, which we now see as pain points, correct? Right? And as students, pain points, when you solve your pain points, that's when you have those entrepreneurial opportunities. So think about that. There was a lady in the maternity ward talking about how she doesn't have monitors or they have issues with their, like connecting things to their oxygen tank, right? And I think I saw a poster. Oh, so I'm kind of jumping around. Okay, I'll get to it. So Laura's workshop, fantastic. It is recorded and the slides are available if you want to see it, okay? And I recommend everybody do that. Hopefully we'll get her to come back next year and do a longer one. Yes? She says yes. Great. The next one was basic prototyping. Again, I did not go to that, but I heard it was fantastic. And Gideon, was it Gideon? He summarized it very well. He said, if you can outsource it, something like that, labor. Elvis did it. Okay, great. So I didn't go to that, so I can't say very much. I attended the FDA one, another fantastic one by Sri Srinivasan from University of Ghana. It was a good complement to the Standards Authority speech because he also showed us how you can get some really interesting things done in the Ghana regime. Okay. And then we had lunch, which was good. I got the opportunity to sit next to a lady from 37 Military Hospital. She's not here. I had to learn Hausa just to impress her today. I know. But she's not here to hear it, so, oh well, that's fine. Maybe she'll come later. After lunch, we had 3 more sessions, workshops. The first one, again, Dr. Laura. I sat in that one. Again, it was fantastic. And then there was the advanced prototyping by, I didn't go to that either, so I don't know anything about it. Yes. With Mark and Douglas Aite, Makerspace, I hear it was really good. Okay, the people who attended it, I hear it was really good. And then the last session was a workshop done by Dr. Thelma. It was a panel, and all I could say is it was a good start to conversations about some things we need to talk about. All right, anybody who attended that, I believe really enjoyed it as well. And that was it for the workshops. Yes, and it was closed. We had some closing remarks by Dr. Hefsi Tego, and she spoke about saving the best for last. All right, so I want to jump on a theme, saving the best for last, which is today. We are here now, and we're going to continue. Now, you can't save the best for last if you don't build on things, right? So you absolutely must build on things. So we built on some things. We had the visits, we had the workshops, and now we're going to go to the next step, which is, posters. I forgot about, yes. The key part. I saw some really cool posters. And I must say this. A lot of the guys who came from the US, they teach in the US. And they made a very key observation. You guys here, you're really good. The way you present your posters, you talk about them, you do all that. That is really good. So I heard somebody actually say, you are even better than some of their students in the US. Somebody actually said that. So kudos to you, the students, okay? It's not easy. I'm a very shy person. So actually talking about your posters and talking about it and describing it is not easy. But that's the step you need to do, because that's what allows you to discover, to connect, and to transform. All right? So let's build on that as we go into the next couple of sessions. Thank you so much. I'll keep it short. Mark told me that I should actually speak for 2 minutes, but forgive me, I went a little bit over. Thank you, and let's roll.
How many of us here have prototypes? I can't see you. Right. Good. So we have a lot of prototypes, amazing prototypes. And as he rightfully mentioned, we are hoping these will be commercialized. We are hoping we just don't come and show them at the Medical Innovation Expo, then pack them and go along. I mean, as university graduates, when you are done, we have amazing things we can actually commercialize. We don't need to wait for anyone to employ us. Do we? Me, if I talk and you don't respond, I'm not always happy. Or do we? All right. So before we go on to the next one, I still want to hear from you. I think you have to help me with the microphone. Who do you think has the best prototype? If you think your prototype is the best, raise your hand and I'll bring you the microphone and you will speak. Who do you think has the best prototype? Okay, so I think I saw his hand first.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So tell us what it's about and the future plans for your prototype.
Okay, thank you so much. So once again, I'm from All Nations University, and my prototype is design and construction of solar-powered chlorine generator. So one thing I noticed in our country was that most of the chlorine generators which were produced were always focused on the health sector. Like they send it to the hospital for disinfection. But then no one has thought about it, that they can take this chlorine to the villages. Currently, we know our problem with Galamsey and how our water are being polluted. So since the Ghana water has been supplying us with water, which is good for drinking, I also came up with the notion that since the people in the rural villages has been drinking borehole water, the streams and the river, we can produce chlorine and then send it to them. They can use it to purify their water bodies, which will give them a safe drinking water, as well as irrigation. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, they also realized that most of the water which has been used for watering the vegetable is contained with Escherichia coli and Salmonella species. So since chlorine is able to coagulate these bacteria and pathogens, I know that my project will be able to produce enough chlorine and then remove them from these water sources. When they are used on the vegetables, it can come back to us. We can eat and be healthy. Thank you.
So before you hand over the microphone, what are the future plans?
Okay, so the future plan is to get funding, to connect with people, and then be able to project it. Because the people in the rural communities matters the same as the people in the urban communities. So I hope to get connections and then be able to project it and then help the country.
Okay, so it's scalable.
Yes,
It's scalable.
Yeah, it is.
So you need investors so you can scale.
Yeah.
Right. I think I saw another hand here.
Yeah.
All right, so
I am Yato Adu Theophilus from Valley View University, IGH team. We are working on something truly incredible, and I genuinely look forward to showcasing it to everyone. I will not be just you about it because I want you to be curious and come to our poster and watch what it's about. Thank you.
So I gave you a microphone. You say you won't gist me. I like gist though. I like gist. I like gist.
Your
Okay,
future
anyone.
investor is here.
Yes.
You don't want to gist him.
You don't want to gist me.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, my name is Nick Jones from Valley View too, and yes, I can't wait to tell you what our project is about because I'm also keeping you guys in suspense. But we actually,
I don't like that too.
you don't like that? Okay, let me tell you something interesting. Last 2 days when we went for the trip, both the hospitals talked about one peculiar decent challenge, like the government's one did not have the equipment, the private ones were finding it difficult to call the engineers. We have actually worked on that. We have a solution on it, and we are even planning of making it grand. So I'm just spiking your interest. Yeah, thank you very
You are
much.
planning on making it grand.
Yes.
So if you want to make it grand and you don't want to tell me like this,
Oh, you have to come and see.
okay, that's fine.
Have to come and see. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone else?
When do we have to go there and see it? Oh?
Yes, you have to. Okay,
Who
so
else?
there's a hand
Okay.
at the back.
All right.
So I don't have any prototype, but I saw one at the stand. The one that it's like a stethoscope, right? It records the heartbeat, and I saw it to be one of the wonderful tools that the students were able to produce. Why am I saying that? If this thing is being, done in a huge way, you see, it can be suggested to the cardio departments and all those stuff so that their clients do check these things, record them, send it to the prescribers before they even step into the hospital. And it was very, very, very great. In fact, I even gave the guy one example about one medical officer who died on the way with a heart attack, and I was just trying to say if this thing was to be available, probably he may have not died because all those vitals will be taken before the medical officer will be transported. So I saw that one to be very, 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 very great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Any other person? Any other person?
Okay, so in the afternoon, right, we are going to have an activity, and that would require that we pick representatives from the companies we have here, from the schools we have here, from the organizations we have here. We will take one representative each for an activity. So while we are in the session, kindly speak amongst yourselves and decide on who you would want to represent you in that activity. We would also be coming around to take down all the names of the groups, the schools, the companies and organizations we have here. Is that okay? We are all together, right? Okay, thank you. I'd like to take two last submissions. If you think your prototype is the best, or if you think your poster presentation, I think I'm leaving just the posters out, I'm sorry. If you think your poster presentation is the best, if you think your idea is super, super, super amazing, shoot up your hand, I'll come to you. Anyone? Don't tell me you want to leave me in suspense.
No, we don't like that.
I want you to actually speak and tell me about it. Anyone?
Do you want to go? Who? You want to go? Why? Are you shy? Then tell us about your... Who?
Should I put money on it?
Are you presenting today? Tell us about it.
Right.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Abubakar Sadiq Yusuf from Biomedical Engineering, School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana. my project or my poster presentation has to do with the design and implementation of a telemedicine station, a telekiosk of some sort to provide primary healthcare at rural areas. I mean, we did a study at Edubrim, and we realized that these rural areas mainly are having chip compounds that they use as their primary healthcare delivery. And we realized that we could complement these chip compounds with a telekiosk to be able to provide for vital sign measurement and also teleconsultation with distant clinicians all across the globe. So the whole idea was both an engineering design process where we came up with the telekiosk itself, and then also created a web application that would help with connecting once they are inside the telekiosk to be able to interact and have teleconsultations with the clinicians all over the world. Thank you.
What's the future plan? I'm not sure I got that.
So as it stands, we have a small mock-up of the entire telekiosk and then the website, but we've not actually piloted it inside any setting to know its feasibility, and that's what we hope to do next with advice from many individuals, organizations, and then NGOs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think we all deserve a round of applause.
Lord has something to say as an entrepreneur.
Oh, Lord wants to say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's put me on the spot. But so my name is Lord Anthony Basing. I founded a company called Incas Diagnostics. I just wanted to make a little comment about opportunities like this, especially with people saying that we should visit their posters. When you go to a program like this is the opportunity to talk about your project. In fact, every chance you get, you should be able to talk about your project, because not everybody who comes here would even go to visit the posters. I was here yesterday, but I left. Right. So that shows that any chance you get, talk about what you're doing, because you don't know who is listening and who is going to want to be interested in your project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We have one more person to talk about his project. You also want to talk about your project?
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Once again, I'm Elvis Niger from University of Ghana. My project is on an AI-powered hypoxia monitoring system for low resource settings. So hypoxia is when there's insufficient oxygen supply to a part of the body. So we are using a sensor and an ESP32 microcontroller to wirelessly transmit the values we get from our sensor to a mobile device, and then use an AI model to make some predictions based on the values we get, which are transmitted. So that's like just a summary of our projects.
Okay. I think I can just pass the mic. He's behind.
Thank you. My name is Isaac Boateng from KNUST, and then I'm collaborating with a student of All Nations University, Zelia, is here with me. So our project is about design and construction of protective device for phototherapy machine. So basically, there is a problem that new babies face, and then they are normally exposed to phototherapy machine to treat jaundice. But then we find a problem with it. There is sometimes always they are exposed to excessive radiations or heat or light, and then this also causes some kind of disadvantage to the baby. So we have designed an IoT-based protective device to capture these parameters, such as the excessive irradiance, the temperature, and then also the humidity. So when such problem is being detected, the protective device shut down the phototherapy machine to avoid the baby being exposed to that. And then one interesting part of our project is data logging. Basically, we have been talking about artificial intelligence, but what is the basic needs of AI? That is data, right? So we are capturing the data, putting it there for, future references and all that. So on our dashboard, you'll be able to see the trend of the treatment and everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Do you want another round of applause, or it's okay? All right. So we'll move right into the next agenda, and with a singular honor, I'd like to invite Prof. Lee from the Northeastern University to introduce our keynote speaker. With a round of applause, Prof. Lee.
I'm honored to be able to introduce our keynote speaker today. But before I do that, if you look at your agenda, you'll note that initially we were expecting to hear from Emmanuel Quadro Agyukum, and he was unable to make it. But we were very lucky to get another speaker who will be able to tell us a great deal about what's going on in the office of the president. But I wanted to tell a story before I introduced our speaker. And that story is how I got to know Emmanuel Quadro Agyukum. It turns out that at Northeastern University, in the bioengineering department, we have 7 graduate students from Ghana. And one of those graduate students, Emmanuel Amoake, was a constituent of Mr. Agyukum when he was a member of parliament. And my student was able to arrange for Francis Agyare and I to meet with Mr. Agyukum when we visited them 18 months ago. And I can only tell you that the minister for, now he's the Minister for Special Initiatives, was wonderful and has interacted with this student of ours in Northeastern and is almost always able to find time to work with this student. And that is the sort of incredible encouragement giving to students who are trying to move forward and to get the highest possible education. And I just wanted to recognize how important the contribution that the state minister made to my student. And I thought it was really very special and important. Now, he's called the Minister of State for Special Initiatives. And of course, as I'm sure all of you know, that I think a special initiative should be the development of a medical device and instrumentation industry in Ghana, because it would solve so many economic and health problems for this country. So I was looking forward to telling him that in person. But we're very, very lucky to be able to have another representative. I was told a representative of the state minister, but I think that Bernard Arthur is a distinguished representative of the government on his own. I'm told he's the technical coordinator at the office of the president, and I'm delighted that he was able to find time to come and visit with us today. I'm hoping to find a little time to talk with him later. In the meantime, I would love to hear what he has to say to us. So, Mr. Bernard, thank you so much for coming. I look forward to hearing your
I hope my voice is strong enough. Should I use the microphone? It's great pleasure to be here and to interact with students, academicians, industry players, innovators. I'm sure there are journalists here. And ladies and gentlemen, I have been asked by the Honorable Minister to represent him. So I will be reading what he would have ordinarily read to you or spoken to you. I'll be very careful not to leave any dot from his speech so that I don't alter it. So if you hear me reading, please, that is the Honorable Minister's speech. Good morning. It is great honor to join you at the important forum organized by ACity University on the theme, New Paradigms in Healthcare Technology. This gathering is more than just a conference. It is a convergence of brilliant minds bold innovators, and dedicated change makers who share one conviction that access to quality healthcare should not be a privilege but a fundamental right. The changing face of healthcare, ladies and gentlemen, demands on us that we begin to think through what has been done, the kind of ideas and technologies that have evolved, and to see whether they will meet the demands of the current times. The COVID-19 pandemic reminded us of the preparedness or otherwise of states and institutions in meeting the public health situations in our individual countries. We saw, and please, this particular statement is not part of the speech, so I'll just say it. We saw how countries suffered beyond getting vaccines to deal with the pandemic, to the level of establishing infrastructure and systems in real time and in good time to solve the problem and the potential problems that could evolve or could come up. Which means that we need to daily and constantly be looking at innovations in healthcare, some years ahead, projected far ahead, so that in case there are issues like pandemics like COVID, we are well prepared. The issue of resilience, resilient healthcare systems is what I'm talking about. Now I come back to the speech. From telemedicine and digital diagnostics to AI-driven health analytics, we are witnessing a revolution in how healthcare should be delivered, managed, and experienced. Today, a nurse in Accra can consult a specialist in London through digital platforms. We could also use artificial intelligence to detect diseases faster and more accurate than ever before. These developments are not futuristic dreams. They are our present reality. And Ghana must not be a spectator in this transformation. We must be active participants and innovators. The government's commitment to healthcare technology integration is undeniable. It is strong, and government is fully committed. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President, Honorable President John Dramani Mahama, we have placed healthcare modernization and digital transformation at the heart of national development agenda. Through the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with the key sectors, we are redefining how healthcare is delivered across the country. For example, the government is advancing the national e-health architecture, digitizing patient records, ensuring interoperability among hospitals, clinics, and pharmacies. And I'm sure you know there is an e-pharmacy already running. It started in the previous regime, but has been enhanced in the current regime. This is the way we're supposed to run the country, isn't it? Continuing with good efforts. The goal is clear: to make health information follow the patient and not the other way around. This innovation will make healthcare delivery faster, smarter, and more transparent. And I dare say that smart cities, smart systems require intelligent people. And when we say intelligence, it's not about the IQ and all that, but people can use technology intelligently. At the Ministry of Special Initiatives, where I work as technical coordinator, reading the speech of my minister, we are driven by one central belief that innovation and inclusion must go hand in hand. I repeat, innovation and inclusion must go hand in hand. As part of our broader employment and human capital development strategy, we have introduced the Ghana Labor Exchange Program. Under this program, we seek to train and deploy specialist nurses and healthcare technologists, oncology nurses, dialysis nurses, renal specialists, and forensic nurses to meet both domestic and international demand. These training programs will integrate technology-based modules and virtual learning platforms to ensure our professionals are equipped to operate at global standards. The ministry was created to deliver targeted, high-impact interventions that transforms lives in healthcare. This means using technology as a powerful tool to expand access, improve outcomes, and create employment opportunities. What are the pathways for partnerships? We recognize that transformation cannot happen in isolation. It requires strong partnerships between government, academia, and the private sector. R&D in Ghana, for me, is one of the critical areas we have to spend more money. Before coming, I quickly looked at what Microsoft is investing in the next 10 years. I also listened to President Trump's interactions with the big players in the IT sector. And I was hearing things like 600 billion, trillions, and all that. And a lot of them will go into R&D because that drives change. That drives whatever. This statement I'm making is not part of the speech, so. One of our biggest challenges in this country is that we train people from our universities and tertiary institutions. And we don't back whatever they are taught beyond the walls with cutting edge innovation. We need to create pathways where industry and academia can concentrate on the type of innovation that can propel this country beyond even the next 10 years. For example, I asked how many doctors do we want to train in the next 20 years? And in which area? Which specializations? As a country, we don't have an agenda. We should have. And even when we train these doctors, we train these engineers, we train these nurses, we train these lawyers and all that, what kind of innovative systems are we putting in place to back up? You ask, in the next 50 years, how many engineers will Ghana have? I'm only asking questions. So, technology gives us a unique opportunity to bring quality healthcare closer to communities that have been left behind. Through investments in telemedicine infrastructure, mobile diagnostic units, and community health digital tools, we are ensuring that a child born in a rural community has the same chance at good healthcare as one born in the city. We all know of the cyanide in our water bodies and what it is doing through the Galamsey situation. Children born with deformities. A child born with a split head. Imagine a future where a nurse in Bumprugu can be able to fall on an innovative platform or something that you will call maybe a hub and pull ideas within a split second to solve a problem, maybe in Talensi or Wichao. And when I mention Wichao, Wichao is part of Ghana. It's in the overseas area. but it's very close to the Burkina Faso area. That is where we want innovation to drive us to. And we are not talking of some wonderful innovation. We were talking of appropriate innovation that people can easily access and use. The government remains committed to creating the enabling conditions for health tech startups to thrive. Through supportive regulation, innovation hubs, the public and private partnership systems can thrive. But as we embrace new technologies, let us also remember that inclusivity must remain at the core of our innovation. Put the human being first. Put the human being first. The tools we build must serve humanity by making healthcare more affordable, efficient, and compassionate. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of healthcare in Ghana must be defined by how effectively we integrate technology into every aspect of service delivery, from prevention and diagnostics to treatment and management. I wish to commend ACity, Northeastern University, and the Ghana Standards Authority for hosting this important expo. It is through gatherings like this that ideas are hatched, transformed into action, and action into lasting impact. On behalf of the government of Ghana, I assure you of our continued support in advancing healthcare innovation for national development. Let us leave this expo with a renewed commitment to innovate, collaborate, and act boldly. Together, we can shape a future where healthcare in Ghana is not limited by distance, cost, or circumstance, but powered by innovation, inclusion, and hope. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our health sector, and God bless our dear nation, Ghana. I read on behalf of Honorable Ejekum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The panel, as our moderator, he is a professor, bioengineering and chemistry and chemical biology, Northeastern University. With a round of applause, let's welcome Prof. Lee Makowski. Thank you very much, Prof. Lee. And in no particular order, let's welcome our speakers. We have Dr. Lord Anthony Bassing. He's the founder of Inca Diagnostics. With a round of applause. We also have Dr. Robert Jablate. He's a senior lecturer and the head of anesthetics, University of Ghana Medical School. And last but not the least, help me welcome Prof. Gordon Awandari, Vice Chancellor in charge of Academic and Student Affairs, University of Ghana. He's also the founding director of the West African Center of Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens. With a round of applause, your speakers, your moderator.
I guess maybe we can sit down except when we're talking. I don't know. So I'm going to give myself a little more of an introduction, then let each one of you give a little introduction here about yourself, and then what I'd like to do is to ask each one of you to talk about what you think is possible. I think we had a wonderful introduction, a vision of the future, and I would love to see how you react to that and how you think things need to be done and what we can do here in Ghana. So as they said, I'm Lee Makowski. I'm at Northeastern University. 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, we started a bioengineering department there, and I was the inaugural chair of that department. Shortly thereafter, I started interacting with Fred McBacken-Laurie, the president of ACity, and I made my first trip to Ghana in 2019. This is the 5th time I've come down, and it's been a wonderful trip for me. I'm very excited to be a part of this Expo, and I'm looking forward to hearing the stories of our panelists today. So I'm going to stop talking and let them tell their stories.
Okay.
Oh, like this.
Okay. Yes. So thank you very much. My name is Lord Anthony Basing. I am the founder of Incas Diagnostics. Incas Diagnostics is a medical devices manufacturing company. So we develop and manufacture diagnostics currently. So HIV, pregnancy, drug of abuse, all of those things. We develop and manufacture them right here in Kumasi, not in. Whenever you say Ghana, everybody assumes that it's in Accra. I was going to say right here in Ghana, then I remember no, it's in Kumasi. A funny story. Yesterday I had a meeting, and the first thing was, "Why don't you bring it to Accra?" And I said, "No, it's in Kumasi for a reason." But then I am also a lecturer at the Department of Medical Diagnostics in KNUST. And I raise this up because when we talk about R&D, as the speaker spoke about, it's very important, and that's a model that I've been using for both R&D and manufacturing right here in Ghana. So Incas has been around since 2018. At the time I was in Purdue University, so I have a background in both clinical microbiology and biomedical engineering. So I was in Purdue University, and I decided to come back to Ghana to set it up and to scale up. And so since 2018, we've been there. We currently have 13 products that are human related, so 13 human products. We have 3 animal products. Basically anthrax and all of those things that are related to animals. And then we have about 9 products in the R&D pipeline. We just finished working on a test for Sudan 4 that is able to test for Sudan 4 in palm oil and other things. So that is a little bit about us, and I think subsequent questions would talk more about what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Robert Jagbulete. I'm a senior lecturer with the Department of Anesthesia of the University of Ghana Medical School. And I'm also a consultant anesthetist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So as an anesthetist, I'm a provider, and we use a lot of medical devices and equipment. So I'm going to provide more of a user-end perspective to what we see. In anesthesia and critical care, we use a lot of these medical devices and equipment. And we face numerous challenges with it, right from how they are procured, how it's used, how it is maintained. And I feel that once we discuss these issues, we may be able to come out with some solutions that will help ensure that we are able to provide quality care for our population, and we will be able to have value for money for when we purchase some of these equipment. I've been interested in equipment, and as a young person, you open up several devices at home. So it started right from there. When COVID came, I heard that academic city was building a ventilator. They reached out to me trying to find out whether they can test. So right from the prototyping, I was involved with academic city, giving them ideas as to best we can refine it. We got a first prototype in place, and I was able to test it on mannequins back at the University of Ghana Medical School Skills Lab. So that has been my involvement, and today we hope that at this discussion we'll be able to brainstorm and come up with some solutions to some of our pertinent problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Gordon Awandare. I used to want to be an engineer, so it's a great pleasure to be here. Fred and I have known each other for a while, and I've always promised to visit, and I haven't had the opportunity. So today it's a great opportunity for me to visit, and I'm very pleased that I've finally made it to this great, Ghanaian university. So when I didn't do engineering, I went to the University of Ghana hoping to do medicine, which I didn't also get to do. So I ended up doing biochemistry, and that led me to do infectious diseases for my PhD. And the reason why I'm here is because I started a center of excellence called WACBIP, West Africa Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens at the University of Ghana. It's a World Bank Center of Excellence where we do research into infectious diseases and non-communicable diseases using cellular and molecular approaches. This was an initiative that my colleagues and I started when we all came back from training overseas. I did my PhD in the US. Some of my other colleagues went to Germany, UK, and so on and so France and all that. And when we got back, we realized that the biomedical research we were doing was mostly public health and epidemiology. And we thought that for Africa to make progress, we needed to start doing research that can lead to discovery of our own vaccines and drugs and diagnostics as Lord is doing. And in order to be able to do that, you needed to lay the foundation by building the human resource to be able to do that. You needed to equip our young scientists with the skills to do research at the molecular and cellular level. That's where discovery takes place. All the vaccines, drugs, whatever, they always start from discovery at the molecular level, where you find a target that you can interfere with for a drug, or you find a pathogen component that you can develop into a vaccine, and so on and so forth. So these tools that you need to do discovery research, are from the basic science level. And so our vision was to set up a center where we can build capacity in that regard. And fortunately for us, we've made quite some progress. 11 years later, we have given opportunity for about 500 African scientists to do master's, PhD, or postdoc through our program, fully funded by monies that we have raised from various funding agencies. And through the hard work of these young people, we have contributed significantly to advancing basic science research in Ghana and across Africa. Many of you heard about our center during COVID, when we were involved in genome sequencing and seroprevalence studies and so on and so forth, which helped shape the national response. But what we did during COVID was as a result of capacity we had built over the last, 7, 8 years prior to COVID getting to us. And so it sort of underscores the need to build this type of capacity and be ready to respond to such future emergencies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think those introductions make it clear the level of distinction of the panelists in front of us. But it is panel discussion. And for me, the discussion we have here today is that Academic City and Northeastern University and the nonprofit 4GBI have come together to form a bioinnovation center. And the idea of the bioinnovation center is to take the many innovations that are happening in the hospitals and universities here in Ghana and wherever, and turn them into impact. And that impact, I believe a part of that impact, or maybe a large part of that impact, is to develop an industry here in Ghana that can develop the kinds of tools that healthcare workers need to provide the best possible healthcare for the people of Ghana. I think Loud's work with Inca Diagnostics is a proof of principle that this can happen. But I want to know from each one of you what this center can best do in order to move forward this mission. So I'm not going to call on you. I'm going to let you fight about who's going to talk next. But I want to hear from all three of you at one point or another.
Well, thank you very much. I think that, I am not familiar with the entire concept of this center. But I think that what we need is to harness our young people and empower them to be innovative. Doing research capacity building for the last 10, 11 years, what has really inspired me is the talent of young African scientists. And I think that any initiative that gives them opportunity to develop their talent and to tap into the innovation that they possess, I think is something that we can all rally around. Yeah.
And I want to tell you that the interactions we've had with the students here in Ghana, and Professor Mark Fuller has done a lot of this, actually teaching courses at Northeastern with students in Ghana taking part in those courses. And what he can tell you is that your very best students are the same as our very best students. They're really, really good. There's a huge amount of talent out there. There's a huge amount of potential. And it would be great to find what they can do once they push on with their training.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I think from my end, I will approach it from some challenges that we face when we are using biomedical equipment. And for us, the main challenges stem from the fact that we are a resource-limited country. Our GDP is so much, so we can't put in that much alone into healthcare when there are other sectors that are also important, education, agri, and so on. We can't get all the medical equipment that we wish we can have, but even with the few that we have, we think that we could have gotten something better when we look at the quality and value for money terms. We are in an environment where our electricity, the quality of the electricity that we have is poor. It fluctuates, though the power may be on, but then the quality of the power keeps fluctuating. And most of these medical devices, especially those in healthcare, are sensitive, and they require very clean quality electrical outputs. So that is one. Two, sometimes the infrastructure where we even place these equipment, one, right from when these equipment are imported at the ports, how they are stored, how they are transported to the end users, how they are even stored within the facilities prior to use. They are not kept in aerated rooms. The climate within these storage facilities are not regulated. We are in the tropics. We have high temperature. We have high humidity, and can be quite dusty, especially in the Harmattan period. And all these things have effects on our equipment. These equipment that we import, sometimes they have not been manufactured to withstand these conditions. They cannot bear the wide fluctuations in the electricity that we have. They may not be able to withstand so much dust. and the high humidity. Sometimes the equipment malfunctions or break down, and when you go to the biomedical shop, when you open it, it's rusted. So much condensation have taken place on the circuit board. It's rusted. Sometimes you see tons of dust, and then when the equipment is brought during the dry season, you get dust, and then during the rainy season, you now get condensation. And sometimes some of these equipment with moving parts, they can't move because the whole thing, you open it up and you find clay within the equipment. So we feel that these are things that we can look at and engineer some of basic things. I don't see why we can't manufacture ordinary BP monitoring devices in this country. When you look at my department, the amount of money we spend annually on batteries to just operate some of these equipments. So we use laryngoscopes, we have BP monitoring devices, pulse oximeters, and we spend thousands, tens of thousands of Ghana cedis just on batteries. But we are in the tropics with a lot of sunshine, and we can manufacture equipment that use solar with rechargeable batteries. So there are very simple things that we feel that we can do within our environment. During COVID, we've all been mentioning COVID. When COVID struck, everybody was looking within. The Western world that we depended on were also stretched, and they were seeking for their own population. You couldn't, even if you had tons of money, you couldn't just import. People placed bans on exportation of medical products. And that caused us to really look inward and try to innovate and produce some of these things in country. We were able to get a whole hand sanitizing stand where we had our Veronica bucket, we had tissue paper, we had the bin. And this was purely Ghanaian innovation. We were able to get a manufacture face masks. I remember latex foam that does mattresses and other things was able to re-engineer their equipment, and they were manufacturing face masks. So we could do a lot of things. Some of the alcoholic beverage industries were able to repurpose, and were producing hand sanitizers. Most of our pharmacy departments in most of the major hospitals were manufacturing hand sanitizers. We were getting face masks. So the innovation, ingenuity is inherent in us, and we can solve our problems. We have great plastic manufacturing firms within this country, and we are able to do buckets, tables, chairs, and we export them to neighboring West African countries. So I don't see why we cannot repurpose and manufacture plastic-made medical devices, ET tubes, oropharyngeal airways, face masks for delivering oxygen. We export timber, so why in God's sake should we import wooden spatula just to examine somebody's oral cavity? So I think there's a lot, there are very low-hanging fruits that we can look at. The high tech is there, we can employ into using AI and all that. But there are very simple things that I think when we look inwardly, we should be able to do. And when all the stakeholders come together, we should be able to get this biomedical innovation hub, be able to support the students. I came around yesterday, and the common theme is that they need support. They have the innovation, they don't know where to go to get the mentorship, to get their idea prototype and scale up. So I think this is really important, and this is where we need to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, first of all, in Ghana, we have a lot of talent. I always say that talent abounds, opportunities do not. And that is the problem. If you, anywhere you go, any university, there are people that are doing amazing things. However, the opportunity to scale up is always the issue. And it doesn't have, it's not only about funding, but also has about capacity building and even the support, the know-how about how to scale is the major issue that a lot of people are confronted with. To talk about what the Innovation Hub should do, I'm going to answer a few of the reasons why it's quite difficult for people to make all the things that you listed, although they seem to be low-hanging fruit. In my mind, there are about three things. First of all, Ghanaians generally, prefer foreign products than local products. And this is based on research that I have done. We were developing a test called the Vouch Kit. It's a 3-in-1 test for vaginal infections. So we sent out a questionnaire to the people who were going to use our kits. There were over 3,800 people that filled, right? And we asked about the attributes without even mentioning the kit. If you had a test that was doing this and this and this and this, would you buy it? Everybody said yes. How much would you buy it? People said between 30 and 100 maximum. Would you buy it if it's made in Ghana? 30% said no. Right? So the mindset is something that we need to do. I will tell you for a fact that somebody would make all the things you are talking about locally and not even one person will purchase it because it is made in Ghana. There are people that actually produce things and they'll put made in China on it because people will prefer to buy that than to buy it if it's made in Ghana. And that is one of the major issues that we need to tackle as a people. Okay, and my own hypothesis is that it is because we usually project onto these manufacturers and innovators. We think that if you are the ones making it, we would cut corners. So definitely somebody else is cutting corners. And so we don't want to purchase it. And that is the major issue that we have. And once we are able to address that challenge, we would be able to move forward with a lot of it. That is the first thing. What can the Innovation Hub do? I think 4 main things. One, build the capacity of the innovators and the students that are here. And I think we are already doing that. Yesterday's workshops and all of that are very important. Build the capacity because being able to come up with an innovative product is completely different from being able to scale it up and commercialize it. They are two different things. Sometimes it is not even the innovator who is supposed to commercialize it. Okay, but I realize that a lot of us are very protective of our innovations. So you develop something and you don't want anybody to even hear about it because you don't want anybody to steal the idea. So partnering becomes so difficult. And because you don't want to partner, at the end of the day, it's kept in the shelf because you do not have the financial muscle to be able to scale it up. You do not have the know-how to be able to scale it up. And you don't want to partner anybody. So at the end of the day, it ends up not being skilled. So building that capacity is extremely important. Build the capacity of the innovators to know how to scale it up, how to partner, how to commercialize, all of that. That is one important thing. The second thing is to partner with research institutions. Okay, I do a lot of partnership with WACBIP. And so when I saw Prof, I was like, Prof. Okay, because we've met on, I've been to WACBIP several times. Okay, and it's a private-owned commercial entity, but we are partnering with a research institution. We are partnering with several research institutions because the truth of the matter is that although currently INCAS has a very, I would say, unique model for R&D, that is not the general thing. Okay, R&D has to be from the research institutions, from the universities. Okay, and you do not necessarily have to have just one. So you can partner with Academic City University in terms of the hardware. You can partner with WACBIP in terms of some of the molecules that you need to be able to partner with several of those, put them together, and then you can have something that can be commercialized. And these institutions are credible. And so in solving the first problem about our general mindset, if a product comes out and that product is as a result of partnership between, say, Incas Diagnostics, Academic City University, WACBIP, University of Ghana, Care University, and all of that, what happens is that people then tend to see the product as something that is credible. And so it would, at the end of the day, solve the whole issue of people not believing that a made in Ghana product is good. So partnering with these institutions is very important. Partnering with private sector, okay, and even with the end users, it's also very, very important, okay, because if you are producing a product that people do not need, nobody will buy the product. He just spoke about battery. They spend a lot of money on battery. So if you are going to engineer something, you are going to develop a whole new product that will also use battery, they will not be interested. Okay, so I think partnering with end users and all of that is also very important. And for me, the most important thing is partnering with government. And unfortunately, the government person has gone. I was waiting to tell him about it. Okay, partnering with government is extremely important because the business environment is what would creating the right business environment is what would generate all the innovations that we are talking about. I got equipment donation from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That was in 2020. That was worth around $2.8 million. I had to go and pay a lot of money to clear those goods. Okay, and I ended up in debt because I had to borrow money. Young company, I've not even started. I had to borrow money to go and bring those things. Giving us incentives like that, okay, at least making sure that you have duty free on some of these donated. The SV is going to be used for innovation and all of that. It's very important, but you have to pay for them. The business environment is extremely important. I always give the example of 2022. My company nearly collapsed in 2022. In January, we bought raw materials worth $100,000 at 610,000 Ghana cedis. In January of 2022. In October of at that time, the dollar was 6.1, right? This is 1.1 cedis to a dollar. In October the same year, I had sold all my products and I was going to buy raw materials, $100,000 again. It was 1.6 million Ghana cedis, right? That is not the worst part. So I took loans and all of that. I said I wanted to go and buy in bulk so that if the dollar goes up, I don't struggle. So I got all the money from everywhere, about $400,000, ordered the raw materials. I paid for the raw materials on a Thursday. On Friday, I got the advice. On Monday, the dollar had come to 9 cedis. So without lifting a finger, I had lost half of the money that I put into it. And these are things that entrepreneurs face every single time. Okay, and if we are not able to address these issues, we would have all the innovators who will all come together and develop products, but it would be too expensive. It would be cheaper to import than to produce locally, and it would not pass. And so I think these 4 areas are the things that we need to target. First of all, we need to train the innovators. Secondly, we need to think about partnering with research institutions like WACBIP, Academic City, and all of those universities, partnering with them, partnering with the end users and the private sector, and partnering with government. I think this in the next 5 years, we would have wonderful products that are usable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I should open this panel up now for questions from the audience. You've already heard a lot, and do you have questions to follow up? Or you can ask each other questions. I see a young man there in the corner who's got his hand up. Fred?
Oh, okay.
My question goes to Dr. Lord Bassing. He happens to be my nephew, but I want him to answer this question in public. What keeps you going?
So
good question.
I get this question a lot, and again, I call Prof. Uncle Fred. So if I call him Uncle, don't. But Uncle, I think for me, the main thing is that I know that it can be done. When you know that this is easy and can be done, but there are challenges, you feel like you must definitely surpass those challenges so that once you get it done, other people can follow. That for me has always been my motivation. I have 37 workers, and these are young people that look up to you, and they know that even when things are going wrong, you have to smile because you have to give them the encouragement to be able to move forward. And all of that combined makes it very difficult to fail. Okay, you need to keep going because you know that it can be done. And if you're not able to do it, who else would do it? Basically, that's the thinking. So you must do it for other people to see that it can be done, and then they would follow instead. So that has always been what has been keeping me going.
We have another question here.
Question?
Yeah, Dr. Larry. So, wanted to ask, the minister made a submission recently that equipment used in the health facilities are going to be outsourced. Knowing that most of the equipment are imported, do you think this can affect biomedical engineers in Ghana? And also, do you think that there's a need to also form sort of a union, like the way we have the various unions in the health sectors, that when they speak, you realize that the government will be shaking, like the nurses, the medical officers, the laboratory people, so that when we have such unions, do you think they can also say something for the government to listen to them so that they can create and also probably connect, like the way our motto is, so that we can, build the biomedical engineer system, right?
Okay. So I think that it was very important for the government spokesperson to have been sitting here, okay? Because and I hope that at the end of the day would carry whatever we discuss here to them. A lot of the reason the minister said that was that a lot of the equipment are getting spoiled and they're not getting anybody to repair them and all of that. And that is because they've signed contracts with these suppliers, and these maintenance contracts. And so when an equipment is spoiled, they have to bring somebody from Dubai, from other places to come and repair the equipment. When we have biomedical engineers locally who can do that. Okay, and the solution the minister is offering is to outsource. So if you're a supplier and you have equipment, they basically outsource everything to you, the maintenance, everything, and then there's a cost sharing. Personally, I believe that is not the way to go. There are a lot of biomedical engineers in Ghana who can work on these machines easily. Okay, but they are not being given the opportunity to do that. Okay, and I think a union would be an amazing thing, because what government listens to most of the time is agitation, union, strike, you see. So if there's a union that lobbies to say that we can repair these things, okay, give us the opportunity to be able to repair them, I think that it would solve a lot of the problem. I won't say a lot of things, but I honestly believe that is the outsourcing it and cost sharing and all of those things, or revenue sharing, is not the way to go. I believe that getting the equipment repaired and getting the equipment working will be the better solution. And there are biomedical engineers locally that can do that. Thank you.
I think Robert wants to say
I just wanted to add, I also do not think outsourcing will be the way to go, because whoever you are outsourcing to is not a Father Christmas, it's for profits. So they are going to make profit. So why doesn't the government ensure that these things are maintained the way they ought to be? We have biomedical engineers within the country. Some of them are even sitting at home. They are not being employed by the government. There are several hospitals in the country without biomedical engineers. Kolebu Teaching Hospital doesn't have enough. So we need more. The government should employ them, and they should increase or build the capacity of these biomedical engineers. Some of the challenges we face when they are going to buy these equipment, most of the time they go through agents
these agents are just buying and selling. They cannot provide support, maintenance support when these equipment are being brought. Neither do we ensure that our biomedical engineers that are in country too are given the requisite training on these machines or equipment being bought. If we follow these processes, then it should be easy to maintain the equipment. And also, why should we go and buy a Range Rover or buy, I think Prof. Wagner said he had a BM convertible. He brought it and he can't ride it in Ghana because we don't just have potholes, we have manholes. Those cars won't ride. What we need is maybe a Toyota Hilux 4x4. That is what can survive on the terrain. So in purchasing the equipment, we need to know which equipment to purchase. And when we are purchasing, we need to find out the maintenance cost of the equipment and also train people on the equipment itself. If we do this, we will have value for our money and we will not be outsourcing. Thank you.
Thank you. Prof, with your permission, in order to save time, can I take 2 questions at a go?
I just want to interject one thing. When Francis Ogyare and I visited with the man who at the time was the Director General of the Ghana Health Service 18 months ago, he said that although they have almost 7,000 facilities, they only employ 200 biomedical engineers. So that's patently inadequate. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for the opportunity to ask my question. My name is Isabella Menta from University of Ghana. We all agree that Ghanaians preferring foreign products to locally made products is a challenge. So the question is, what are we doing to achieve a mindset shift, or what have we done so far to achieve that mindset shift? Thank you.
I feel like we need a behavioral economist to answer that question.
One more question, then I come to the panel. Is that okay?
Answer something?
Okay. One of the problems to that is the example set by our leaders. When they get sick, where do they go? Exactly. When they get sick, they leave. And so why wouldn't the common person think whatever they're getting there is better for them? They have a beautiful University of Ghana Medical Center. It is fabulous. You have physicians here who've taken the same classes, know everything. You have MRI machines, but you don't respect the expertise of your physicians. So why wouldn't the ordinary person think, Tylenol from abroad is better than paracetamol that is here? It's the same ingredient. My own uncle, every time I'm coming, Tylenol. And when I tell him, paracetamol, he doesn't believe me. I go by the generic brand, he's very happy because it's from abroad. So that is one of the things. Now, I'm not quite sure you can tell them because they have the means to get up and go. That is a big one.
One more question.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Bertram Akwa from Valley View University. And I want to ask this question to you, please. You made mention of developing strategies to government officials. So what are the best strategies or channels to establish a formal partnership with government institutions, especially when you have followed all the required procedures but have not received any response? How can one effectively follow up or re-engage without appearing intrusive? Thank you very much.
That is a tough one.
Over to you, please.
So when you find the answer, please let me know. So the truth of the matter is that for us, we keep doing it. Okay, we disturb them until they give us audience. That might actually be it works for us. I don't know whether it will work for you. Okay. One of the other things, and with all seriousness, is to show rather than to tell, right? And I'll give you 2 examples. And also, just to add that to question about how to change the Ghanaian mindset. One of the things we did when we had developed our test was to, we went around telling people about it, nobody was buying. So what I did was I started giving free samples. Okay, I gave out quite a number of free samples. And then you are there and somebody calls you and be like, oh, your thing, it works, pal. And I'm like, yes, I told you. And then they'll be, okay, can you give us, you get the point. So we're showing, and that's what we've done with government as at now. We wrote several letters, we wrote all of those things. So what I started doing was to, if I hear that there's going to be a government functionary at this particular, and that person is somebody that has clout, I'll go and exhibit. And I'll make sure that I am at a place where if they come out, they'll see us. Okay, so immediately they come out, I have staff that are standing there ready to usher them to our stand. And then I give them samples. Some of them follow up, some of them don't. And I can tell you that the former Minister of Health, Kwekwa Jimamenu, he came to our facility because of something like that. And he was amazed. He was very surprised about the fact that we had all of those equipment, we were doing all of those things. And he was the Minister of Health. And we had letters since 2018 at the Ministry of Health. He came there 2021. I think, yes, 2021. And he was shocked. So that told me that they didn't read most of the things we sent to them. So you have to be radical and all of that. And if you have somebody also who can lead you, it's an advantage. But most of the time, I'm mostly in Accra because when I come, I just go there. With them, even without appointment, I'll sit there till I see somebody. And they will give you all the political talk. Oh, you are doing so well. We'll get back to you. And I'll ask you when. If you say, oh, maybe next 2 weeks, I'm there. And then you are forced to deal with me. So that has always been what I've been doing. And as of now, it's working a little. But if you find the formula, let me know. I would adopt it.
Laura, do you have any advice? You're the behavioral economist in the building. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, from the behavioral economist perspective, I think what you said around show, not tell, is very important. Something that I did talk about in the workshop yesterday is, a lot of times when we think we're selling, selling is never about selling. It's about starting a conversation. It's about asking, it's about kind of giving your lay of the land in a way that makes them want to ask questions. And when they ask questions, that's your time to shine. That's when so starting that conversation, it's a lot of times not about advocacy, saying, here are the 3 things that I need to tell you. It's about inquiry, asking those questions and saying, hey, let me tell you about how did you arrive at this? Help me understand how the Ministry of Health is thinking about this. And then you sort of weave your perspectives into that. It's also about being tenacious, like you're mentioning, right? Positioning yourself in the right way. Many entrepreneurs have this same issue. There's this story about Elon Musk, okay, who is, Elon Musk, even the government was not paying attention to him. This was many years ago, where he needed a regulation to be changed for one of his companies, SpaceX. And they kept ignoring him. So one day what he did was he took his space shuttle and he parked his space shuttle in front of the door so that nobody could go into the door until he moved it. And so he basically said, I will move it when this person talks to me. And that's literally how he got people to pay attention. So sometimes it's putting your booth in the area where they're going to see you when you're walking out. Sometimes it's continuing to follow up. The other piece of advice that I would give is sometimes people don't respond because the ask is too big. You ask them to say something like, hey, I need you to be my mentor, or I need you to change this regulation, or I need you to come to this event, which is going to take you half day. Sometimes starting that conversation is about giving them an easy way to respond to you. So flatter them, tell them, I love what you did with X, Y, and Z. And just one quick question is, how did you think about this one variable? Something that's going to be a 2-sentence response that they can quickly respond to you, where you're not asking them for something. You're trying to get them to give their opinion on something. And now you've engaged in that conversation. right? Where now they actually have responded to you, and a couple weeks down the road, you can then follow up with something else that's a little bit of a more difficult ask, a little bit more difficult. And now you have a relationship with that person that you can continue to build on. So, just a couple of thoughts in terms of how to, especially with the people that are really difficult to reach or are particularly doubtful of your credibility or particularly wanting to say no. Remember, these are people who are being asked for things all the time: money, resources, introduction, support. And so you have to be able to navigate your way to that conversation. So, yeah.
Thank you.
We have 8 minutes more to go. I'm taking my final round of questions.
I know we're running out of time. Maybe one or two questions, but I want to give each of the panelists a chance for closing remarks. So, do we have time for a couple more questions and closing remarks?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'll come to Prof.
Oh, wait.
I can talk about it in the closing remarks.
Oh, okay.
My name is Dr. Richard Barnes, Accra Technical University. He was talking about engineers not being able to make simple things like BP machines. See, one thing is that the government has to do is that they need a platform technology. A platform like R&D kind of platform. For example, for you to be able to make a PCB board, you have to take your circuit to China or to India and they print it and send it back to you. In Ghana, they don't have a platform where they can even make a PCB platform for you so that you can do your soldering on it and then make your circuit. So the Ghana Health Service would have to step in, at least create the basic platform where material forming at least can begin, like making a PCB board. And for example, let's say the pressure monitor, I think he mentioned it. If you want to make the pressure monitor, you need a cuff, you need a strap. So what our students do is that they have to get those components before at least they can make that particular device and make it work. So if the material forming is not there, even to be able to start up in terms of hardware devices becomes a little bit difficult. All right. And like he said, if you, in Ghana, every MRI machine, no biomedical engineer can open it. Any CT machine, no biomedical engineer in that facility can open it because they are outsourced to Philips, to Ericsson, and those companies. So certain regulations, the Ministry of Health would really have to intervene, get a platform technology and the platform systems going for the engineer to be able to work much more freely. For example, if they get a PCB board, printer, a printed circuit board machine in Ghana, or our students will be patronizing it a lot because they always need it to make the circuit for their project work and to be able to do R&D of their project work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Finally, he gave me the mic. All right. So my question there is to Dr. Jablate. In all this prototyping, we the students and researchers will always want practitioners and professionals to at least give us the early beginning brainstorming as to how the solution should go. But it is very difficult getting access to some of your colleagues, unlike you. And I don't know if you can be an advocate on that direction so that we can get access to more health practitioners so that they can give us the needed advice. Then the other one also is technology integration, which I listen to. Most a case comes where some simple tools are being prototyped, but you want someone to test it. And they are like, we have to write to the Ghana Health Service. And for all you know, that thing is not going to contaminate anything. Maybe it's just a simple pediatric test for kids, which a pediatric doctor says, we need this, we import this. But after doing it, they are not ready to come in for it as a test because Ghana Health Service has to approve something simple as that. So how do we go over this? Thank you.
Final question, then I'll come to the panel, please.
So I was actually going to make a contribution on the behavioral aspects. I would also say we, the professionals, have not done a particularly good job in trying to get these stakeholders on board. The earlier question said, the guys go abroad, they get treatment, but we also know a lot of them die here. When you are in coma, you don't know what syringe is coming at you, right? Or if they don't die here, they get buried here. You know, I think we need to find a medium to engage these guys. When I started having challenges with accreditation, I joined their panels and I traveled with them. And I got to know many of the guys, some of whom are here today, so I keep running in and out. Sometimes they also need to be educated. You know, I just explained to the team that 30 years ago, there was nothing like biomedical engineering in Ghana. Every brilliant student wanted to go to medical school. And your chemistry teacher was that guy that didn't get to medical school and was still bitter. Actually, my high school chemistry teacher, when I asked him a question, said, if I had somebody to answer this question, I won't be a chemistry teacher. You know? And, you know, on this behavioral, sometimes I tell my mom, I said, you know, growing up was very difficult. And I'm expecting mom to say, sorry, I could have done well. Then she says, growing up for me too was very difficult. So now who is going to apologize to who? So the challenge we have is that we need these stakeholders to understand that when it comes to medical equipment, devices, that whole biotech space, there is commonality of faith. And they don't understand that yet. The second thing that they don't understand, these guys only last for 4 years. And you are sitting down there telling them about a technology that in 16 years will revolutionize Ghana. And he's thinking about how many borehole machines will I have by then? What will be the size of my farm in the Afram Plains? So I think we need to figure out how to get these people. One way is to make sure that all our parliamentarians are engineers and scientists. Until we do that, we'll be having these conversations over and over and over again. Thank you.
Prof, over to you, please.
I'm sorry.
Over to you and the panel.
Yes, so closing remarks. Gordon, do you want to start?
Well, thank you. So, in fact, I was going to make a point similar to what Fred has made, which is that because we're talking to young people, I think that my message is one that's similar to what Fred is saying, which is that your voice has to be in the room. It is pathetic that we're sitting here talking about a minister who doesn't understand the importance of diagnostics, that a company that's making diagnosis in Ghana, written letters and letters, and it doesn't prick their mind to go there. They have to be dragged there. It tells you something about our system of giving people responsibilities. Why do you have a minister for health who's an accountant or a whatever? Yeah, I think he's an accountant. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? So I think the young people, these are some of the things that you need to be speaking about and advocating. That competence in key areas of our government is what is important. It's not about party loyalty and who is the biggest donor. Okay? We have to demand competence. We have to demand people with expertise that are relevant to the jobs they are given. If you look across our government, even today, the ministries that are performing, they are being led by people who know something about the tasks they've been given. Okay? And my personal experience of that, right now, I'm a pro-vice chancellor. It's not something I would have liked to do many years ago. But having done science, trying to build capacity in the university, being in the system and understand how the system works, I realized that if you are not in the room when decisions are made, forget about it. You can cry your eyes out. When the decisions are made, if your voice is not in that room, all your tears are for naught. So I basically took the pain of being in university management so that I can be in the room when decisions are made, so that I can advocate for all the young people who are trying to do science. I cannot tell you how many times that university decisions have gone a certain way because I was in the room. Because I'm sitting at the university council, because I'm sitting in university management, because of the experience I bring, the first-hand experience I bring with some of those issues that they are discussing. Issues about how grants should be managed in the university. Issues about, procurement of reagents and equipment. If you are not in the room, the perspective is different. So as young people, two things. Some of you have to go into leadership. Put yourself up into leadership. Go into the room. Get into the room and influence the decision making there. If you cannot get into the room, help people who are willing to get in the room to get into the room. Advocate. Speak up. And, we have a lot of cultural inhibitions. So young people think that if you speak up, you are being disrespectful or you'll be targeted. Yes, that may happen. But trust me, it also works. When you can speak directly to power and tell them the truth, respectfully, of course. Don't be disrespectful in the way you communicate to authority. Speak respectfully, but tell them the truth. Tell them your personal experiences and how their decisions affect your personal experiences. This is how we can change the country. Things have to be done properly. Competent people have to be put at the places of responsibility. We should not be here begging ministers to come and see what we're doing. Right? Thank you.
Gordon, it sounds like you know how to park a space shuttle in front of a door. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I think I'll just continue from where Prof left off. As young people, you have brilliant ideas. I've gone around to see some of the posters and some of the prototypes. It's really great. I have absolute confidence in the Ghanaian. We are very brilliant. Across the world, we come up on top. So you need to have that confidence that you can do it. What we need is support. And that's where we need all stakeholders to come together. Manufacturing some of these devices and all that. But importantly, we need the politicians. As Bassett has said, we need their buy-in, and especially in the space that we work in and where we are as a country. The largest employer in the health sector is the government, and they are the largest purchasers of these biomedical devices. We need their buy-in. We need to find innovative ways to try and get to them. They say we should park a space shuttle in front of their doors. So I think we need to deliberate some more. Is it unionizing? Is it coming together as a pressure group, advocacy group? We need to be out there. We need you young guys to be out there. It's now social media. Can you help us create that social media outflow, that things can be done within this country? We need some change. We say we are resetting this country. Can we reset the country in the biomedical space? We need to move things forward. So I think to bring in the question that Dr. Epiro asked, it's about trying to form that team, that stakeholder team. We need to get buy-in from the academic institutions. Yes, individuals will lead the way. I am all for it. And with the Department of Anesthesia, there are people who are interested. It's unfortunate some couldn't come today, but Prof. Anita is one person very passionate about it. And we are interested in trying to get these equipment being tried. We know they will work. They need fine-tuning. Brilliant ideas here, but sometimes they need some clinical tuning. So they are good engineering-wise, but then in the clinical space, they need to be fine-tuned. And that's where we can come in. We are ever willing to help. And I think maybe after this, we may need to talk if academic city can upskill. I know you have some collaboration with the Department of Engineering, but then if we can upskill to maybe the College of Health Sciences, so that you can then have access to not just the medical school, but then School of Pharmacy, School of Nursing, because some of these devices may have may be useful in these areas. So we can look at achieving that. We need to collaborate. If we want to move, we need to move together. They said if you walk alone, you can you can go very fast, but then if you want to go very far, you need to stick together. I believe that together we can achieve a lot. Thank you.
So just like Prof. Wandare, I want to speak to the young people in the room. And first of all, there are a lot of opportunities in the biomedical space. Lots of opportunities. I was in Kenya recently, and somebody had done this container dialysis center. And it was just on top of this big trailer. And they were moving from area to a rural place to rural place, basically offering dialysis and services. Okay, she started it out with a loan. Just when we're there, she had been offered, is it $12 million as a grant, not even as anything, just as a grant, because her model was so unique and it had so much impact. Okay, so yes, there might be frustrations, it might be challenges and all of that. Okay, I don't know whether this quote is very. This is sorrows may come in the night, but joy cometh in the morning, right? So when you start out, it's going to be a bit difficult, and at that time you need a support system. You need to collaborate with others. I was very happy when somebody said from KNUST is collaborating with somebody from Valley View. That is what you guys need to start doing. You come for programs like this. You see somebody's doing a project that you are also interested in doing, or you are also doing. Instead of doing yours and letting that other person also do his or hers, why don't you collaborate together with? You can come up with something that is even better than the individual ones. Put it together. Start it, because you should know that it is very, very, very possible for you to achieve whatever you want to achieve. You should tell yourself that every morning. Just look into the mirror and tell yourself that whatever project you are doing, you are going to be able to do it. And that self-assurance, together with a simple support system that you develop for yourself, be it your friends, be it the university or whatever you are in. Okay. For now, you can forget about government for a while, but just concentrate on getting your product out there. Even if it is not seen locally, others will see it elsewhere, and the opportunities that you deserve would come out. The last thing I will talk about is being able to sell yourself. Very important. Young people, yes, we have social media and all of that, but I find that a lot of us, I think it's the Ghanaian mentality of being humble, in quotes. And so we don't want to talk about the things we are doing. In today's world, if you don't talk about the things you're doing, I expect people to come and know what you're doing. Nobody would mind you. So you need to be able to speak about what you're doing. One of the things I learned in the US was being able to put every sentence you make, you have to talk about your company. Okay, you are told to introduce yourself. I could have started by saying I teach in a university. I'm very proud to be a lecturer in the university, but I never start any introduction with that. I always talk about my company because that gives me money. Prof. You get the point. So the point is that you should be able to sell yourself as well. When you go for some of these programs, talk to people. Don't be shy. Just take contact. Make sure that you leave and you keep in touch with the people that you meet, and slowly you get to wherever you want to go. The last word, it is possible. This is not political, but it is possible. Okay, it is very, 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 very possible. You just have to believe it, and you get it done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to add a final word, but I actually think that Loud just said everything that I wanted to say. And that is that there's a huge opportunity here. There's a huge need, and there's great resources. Every member of the of this audience is a great resource. Believe in yourself. You're going to hit a lot of walls and bounce off and keep going. I think it's a great conversation to have. It's a great conversation to keep going. I'm really looking forward to continue to work with the team here at Academic City in the future. I think it's been a great discussion. I want to thank our three panelists here today, and may the discussions continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.